I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is Fisher's Gap. This is mile marker 49. Yep, there's the gray ghost. Here's the parking lot up here on a Monday morning. Hardly anybody else here. That's a view to the west. The reason you can't see anything is because the whole mountain here is covered with smoke. There's a fire burning not too far from here. And I can actually see little bits of ashes coming down out of the sky. So hopefully I can do this hike. Anyway, I'm going to cross over Skyline Drive over that way, and we're going to head down on the Rose River Fireroad, and I'm going to be looking for an old abandoned road today. We'll see if we can find it. The elevation here is 3,040. Hiking down the Rose River Fireroad. It's going to be about a quarter of a mile before I get to my jumping off point to start the bushwhack. So I'm on the east side of the mountain right now, and there's a fire. I don't remember exactly. I think it's down near the bottom of the mountain near Graves Mill area. But wow, I mean, this whole side of the mountain is completely covered with smoke. See that? It smells like wood burning, like somebody's burning wood in a fireplace. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get too thick, because I don't think breathing this stuff is all that healthy. Six-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm down to 2950 elevation. Here's where I came from, down from Fisher's Gap, down the Rose River Fireroad. And somewhere in this vicinity right here is where the old map showed this abandoned road. Over there looks like really a drainage ditch, but that could have been the old road that turned itself into a drainage ditch. I don't see a definite road here, but I'm going to hike down. I have about 10 waypoints programmed into my GPS from the old map, so I'm going to wade into here a little bit and see if I can pick up on anything. The old map shows the road following the first 4 waypoints. The road is on a ridge line, and this looks like the ridge line here. So let's wade in here and see if we can find the old road. If I can find it, I'll follow it down to the Rose River. .6 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2930. That's where I came from, pushing my way back in through here. So far I have not, I think I'm up to my waypoint 3, RRFR3. So far I have not really seen a road, but I am starting to see some other interesting things. There's a pile of rocks. I'll mark that location. Over there looks like an old rusted out barrel. I'll go over there and check that out. And then over here is another pile of rocks, a smaller pile, but still a pile of rocks. So somebody was doing something back in here. I'll get some stills of this stuff, and then I'm going to move on to my waypoint 4. Alright, well there's what's left of the barrel. That's the barrel that I saw laying on the ground. Now that I'm back here though, there's this big hole right next to it. Now, I don't know, that hole looks to me like it was dug out. Starts there, and it got steep sides there on 3 sides, and then this is sort of a slope coming up out of there, and then there's that barrel laying there. I'll mark this too. Could have been somebody back here prospecting once upon a time. Just leaving this area, waypoint 3, heading to waypoint 4. There's another different, like a galvanized bucket. Here's part of it sitting here, and that's where I came from. Now what's interesting is, see those rocks piled up around that tree? That's kind of interesting too. But anyway, I'm heading this way on a bearing of 136 magnetic. Eight-tenths of a mile. I'm down to 2,810 feet. I've just been basically bushwhacking on compass bearings until I got to here. This looks like it might have been part of the old, that's my GPS telling me I'm at my waypoint 4. This looks like it might have been the road right here. So, assuming this takes me the way I want to go, maybe I can follow this down to the bottom. I'm going to mark this spot. Well, I'll just have to make a notation that waypoint 4 is where I first started noticing an actual road. All right, well, I've been following the old road now. It's wrapping around the mountain. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it's pretty steep terrain right here. So no, a road isn't going to go like down into the abyss straight down. It's going to have to do some switchbacks, which is what we're doing now. One mile into my hike, I'm down to 2,740 feet. I'm approximately at my waypoint 5. I think I actually might have walked past it. I've kind of lost sight of the road. That's where I came from though. You can see it's pretty steep terrain here. Now the road came down here when I got to my waypoint 5, which I might have already passed. But before you get down to that stream, the road makes a sweeping right-hand turn and heads back this way to the southwest. So I guess I am going to just make my own little version of a sweeping right-hand turn, staying above the creek, and I will head back over in this direction. To my next waypoint, I got an intermediate waypoint 5.5. which I believe is something I actually was able to see on Google Earth. So I'm I'm going to drop down just a little more and then start hiking towards my waypoint 5.5. Alrighty, well, I dropped down on the mountain just a little bit, and then I found the road down here. So, and that's looking back towards the creek. So I guess I didn't walk past the actual turn. But it starts up there where I was standing. It comes down, makes a sweeping turn, and then I'm standing in the road here, and now we're going to head back this way. And again, you can see that the mountain's really steep here, so we kind of have to follow the contour of the mountain as we slowly drop down. I'm down to a 2690 elevation. That's the way I came from, still following the road. I'm standing at my waypoint 5.5, which is the one that I was able to see a little bit of this road from Google Earth, looking at the wintertime photos. That's the way I'm headed, on down the side of the mountain. So that's fairly open down through there. Maybe that's why I was able to see it. It all kind of depends on what time of the day the satellite photos are taken and how the sun lays across the terrain. But anyway, I'm going to continue on down. .2 miles into my hike, I'm down at 2,600 feet elevation. Let me do a little quick 360 here. I'm pushing my way through a mountain laurel, which is hard to do. I lost the road for a while. I came from up there, but actually I see the road is over here now. So I'm standing in the road, and it's hard to tell, but it's heading down that way, which is in the right direction. So I'm heading to my waypoint number 7. .4 miles into my hike, I'm down to 2,450 feet. I'm still on the steep part of the mountain. Maybe you can tell from the terrain. I'm down to my waypoint number 8, and I'm almost down to Hog Camp Branch. Maybe you can see the glisten down there of the water. I can hear it. Over there's the other side of the valley, and it's still really smoky from the fire. So I'm going to continue following this down. I have one more waypoint 9. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that or the river first, but anyway, at least this way I'll know where it used to come out. .6 miles into my hike, I'm down at 2,270 feet, and I finally stepped off the old abandoned road, and now I'm on the Rose River Loop Trail right here. It's by the little bridge. Still down here by this footbridge at the end of the old abandoned road. The old abandoned road is right up there where all that brush is laying across the road there. And I think maybe what happened back in the day, because it used to cross the river here, I think it might have come down here. And you see how this is dug out over here? I think maybe it went down there, and then from there it shot across on a little bridge, which is long gone over there. I'm standing on the footbridge. .8 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2,840 feet. And this is the Rose River Fireroad. Here's the bridge. Dark Hollow Falls is over here. And I am going to head on up the fire road back up to my car. .5 miles into my hike, I'm up to 3,000 feet. Getting closer to my car now, and I just thought I'd stop by here. I've shown this before, but the grass has died down now. This is the Cave Family Cemetery. Here's a road that comes up here off of the Rose River Road. So nice little cemetery. The family seems to be maintaining it pretty well. And it goes back over to that whole area that you see cleared. And in the back, there's a little poster there with the names of people that are buried here that don't have headstones. So, besides what you see, there's more people buried in here. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Big Meadows, 1994. And this is the first bushwhack of the season, looking for an abandoned road off of the Rose River Fireroad. You park right here at Fisher's Gap Overlook. This is mile marker 49. And then you cross over Skyline Drive and start hiking down the east side of the mountain on the Rose River Fireroad. This is the Rose River Fireroad here. I got down about a quarter of a mile and then I jumped off the fire road and started following some waypoints that I programmed into my GPS. I have them numbered here. I could not, let's see, I got over here to waypoint 3. This is where I found a pit somebody dug in the ground and a couple different metal barrels and a couple piles of rocks near this waypoint right here. Then I continued still on a compass bearing, couldn't find the road. When I got down here close to point number 4 though, I did start picking up the trace of the road. Followed that all the way down to Hog Camp Branch right here. This is just above where it runs into the Rose River. Here's the Rose River coming down. Here's Hog Camp Branch, and they combine here, and this is the Rose River heading on down the rest of the mountain. Crossed over the footbridge here near point 9 and then followed the Rose River Loop Trail back up the mountain next to Hog Camp Branch until I got to here. This put me back onto the Rose River Fireroad, crossed over the metal bridge, and then started climbing the rest of the mountain up this way along the fire road. When I got to here, I stopped and got some pictures of the Cave Family Cemetery, and then back up to my car here. Now let me show you the older map. This is where I got the idea to do the hike. This is Stony Man, 1933. Here's Fisher's Gap. This is the Rose River Fireroad. And this is the old abandoned road. Now when you're standing here and you look over this way to the east, you really don't see much of anything. So most people aren't going to have any idea that there used to be a road here, but there actually was one. There it is right here, highlighted in pink. Ended up being 4.2 miles and a total ascent of 971 feet. And that's the hike for today.